All right, everybody. I do believe we are once again live. Welcome to another episode of Yankees Live to a Chitty-Chatty Bang Bang. Oh, my sister is sending me pictures of her puppy. Right there. I know you can't see that, but oh, I got it right back. How do I write back? The thing about Cash App and putting, I saw all that stuff. Good Lord, she sent me like 10 things. Reply. So cute, period. She's getting very big, period. There we go. Taking care of personal business there on company time. But thanks everybody for coming. If you've never been here before, this is just a place to come for 1 hour a day and have a conversation with like-minded individuals about common interests and maybe things you disagree about. Never hurts to broaden your horizons or broaden your mind. You don't have to talk to me, but if you'd like to talk to me, that's why I'm here. You can talk amongst yourselves over there in the live chat, but the reason I show up every day is if someone has a question for me or a comment they'd like to make towards me or something they'd like to suggest for a topic for a video, or if they want to call me out for being wrong about something, I'm here and they can come do it. No one will ever be able to accuse me of not being available if they want to challenge me. You don't have to talk about me behind my back. You can talk to me. Anybody can. You can talk about me behind my back if you want. I mean, I know we all enjoy that sometimes. I prefer talking about people behind the back. Sometimes I feel that helps my creative process if they're not actually there. But I stole that line from a comedian. So, But as I was saying, you don't have to talk to me, but if you want to, that's what I'm here for. Just put at the Yankee Marshal in front of any questions or comments you have for me. I will try to get to all of them. I don't always get to all of them. Sometimes I just get more questions than I can answer in an hour. That doesn't happen very often. I wish it happened more often so I didn't run out of questions. Sometimes I get a lot of super chats. People donating to the Pets and Vets Fund, and that takes up some time. That doesn't happen very often. If it did, I'd be a lot happier. Oh, I wanted to give something away today. Remind me later. I found something. I got to go get it. But Lou Brew got his FUD free patch today. So did what's his face? Oh, I'm blanking on his name right now. I want to say Cody, but that's not right. What was his name? I remember his name. I just can't get it out of my head for some reason. He tagged me on Instagram that he got it. Oh, geez, why am I blanking? I'm old. But yes, I saw a lot of people have been getting their food patches today. That's nice to see. What new guns have I bought recently? The only thing I bought recently is that Colt Python 3-inch, and I don't have it yet. Still waiting to be approved by the state so that I don't go do something dangerous with it. Because, 6-shot revolvers are incredibly dangerous. They're used in almost every killing spree that you've ever heard of. That was 6-shot revolvers. Plus, having that one held up makes sure that I don't use any of the other ones that I have in a killing spree. So, it's really in the best interest of the public that I have my second rights delayed and infringed. But where was I at? Like I said, I wish we got more super chats to fund the Pets and Vets program, but that's not really the reason why I don't get to a lot of the questions. The real reason you will be disappointed with the Python's fit and finish. No, it won't. I've checked it over thoroughly when I got it. It was very nice. The ones I've bought since they started making the new ones have been all very nice. I don't know who you're listening to, but it isn't obviously anyone who's actually buying them. Or maybe it's someone who had this weird notion of what the original ones were like, and they put them on some sort of godly pedestal that they never lived up to, and no gun ever will live up to. Because I have an old Python, and I can tell you they aren't that special. The only reason they're popular is because they went away, and they went away because they weren't that successful. But like I said, I'm getting distracted multiple times during my thing here. Those are not the reasons why I don't usually get to them, because I go off on long rambling rants like I've been doing this time, off topic and not making any sense half the time. And that just happens. I'm old. It ain't going to stop happening. So I I'm sorry. I'll try to get to all the chat questions. If you've got a question or a comment you definitely want answered, or you just want to get something answered while you're in the room and you plan on leaving, so you need it done quickly, super chats get answered immediately because those go to fund the Pets and Vets program. And it doesn't matter if they're $2 or $20, they get answered right away and more in depth. That's why they take away time from other questions sometimes. But that's the case with those. You can also get entries into the friend drawing with those. And while I'm doing the spiel, I'm going to look for something. You can also get entries into the friend drawing that way. Other ways to get entries into the friend drawing are to go over and become a patron on patreon.com, or where did I put those? Or you can go over to Subscribe Star and become a starlet if you want to become a starlet. Aha. Here we go. If you want to go over there and become a starlet on Subscribe Star, you can. Those will all get you entries into the friend drawing. Another way is to become a WAP member. That's the Wild Ass Posse, the chat posse, not chat posse. And I said posse. Those are the channel members. Those are those people that have those icons after their name, so you can tell they're special. I think it's $4.99 a month to be a chat member, a posse member, the Wild Ass Posse, a WAP member. And then you get a free super chat and a entry into the friend drawing. So the icon is basically free if you want to look special. And I'm not talking helmet wearing, licking windows special. I'm talking, got $5 kind of special. But we got a super chat coming in from Avo357 real quick here. It says, "Good evening, Yanks. I wish the Sig P210 carry came in 40 Smith & Wesson and had a decocker instead of a thumb safety." Well, then it would be a totally different gun. But I understand, like 40, I might like to see one at 40. But one of the things about that gun is that it is such a amazingly triggered single action safety having gun. And if it didn't have that, it wouldn't be the same gun. They wouldn't be able to have the bore axis that they have. They wouldn't be able to have the trigger that they have. So it would kind of ruin the gun. But I would love to see a gun that looks like that was similar, similar looking, that was a double action, single action. That would be kind of nice, actually. Or I'd like to see one with that system where you push the hammer down with your thumb and that engages the safety. That in a 40 with that system on it, that'd be fucking awesome. I'd like that. Got a super chat coming in from Peter D. "I was surprised with a $4 raise today. Bumps me to $30 an hour. I was thinking a 627 Performance Center for celebration." Well, 627's performance is always good for celebration. You're making too much money. I don't make $30 an hour. Wish I made $30 an hour. Well, I don't work much, so I guess probably I do. But it doesn't do me good to make $30 an hour if I only work like 10 hours a week. I work a lot more than that, but I don't get paid for a lot of it. But that was Peter D. Congratulations on your raise. And yes, that would be a good, of course, I'd have to see everything you owned and what I thought would be a better, because I don't know if you have any Scandium guns. And if you're going to carry Scandium, those Scandium guns are freaking awesome. It took me years to get to where I could tolerate them. And once I got over my ignorance and my prejudice, they're fucking awesome. Would it be, this is from Jacob Villa, who also donated to the Pets and Vets Fund. Would it be IL advised? I think he meant ill. It corrected that for him, I bet. Advised to get a used 2013 Challenger RT with 80,000 miles to learn how to drive manual, asking for myself. 80,000 is really not that many miles on modern cars. I mean, I don't know a lot of modern cars that aren't going to get you at least 180 to 200,000 miles. There might be certain things you can be prepared for. Like, I don't really know what things the 2013 Challenger might have as a common problem. It's like, if you own a Subaru, you're going to replace a timing belt. So you factor that in when you buy a car, if it hasn't already been done. But depending on the price, I could see driving around a 2013 Challenger RT with 80,000 miles and a stick shift as fucking awesome fun. Not just to learn how to drive a manual, just have a lot of freaking fun. I couldn't find a bad thing about it if it's in good enough condition and worth the money that they're asking for it, and how much money they're asking for it is going to determine, like, what condition I would want it to be in. Let's see here. Was that it for the super chats? Oh, I wanted to say, look, I found 2 of these that I didn't think I had any more of. And I know someone on here was a Glock fanatic and told me that they missed out on these patches. And if I can remember who that is, and I can search back through the comments to make sure that was them. But if you're the one that told me you were a Glock fanatic, and you actually told me this in the chat and said, I would love a chance to have one of those, but I never got one. I found 2 of them. So if you want one, here's what you have to do. You have to come in the chat and do a $10 donation to Pets and Vets, or just email me confirmation that you made a $10 or more donation to animal charity of your choice, any no-kill animal shelter or similar, and I'll send you this. Also, I'm going to give away the other one today. So I'm just going to choose from people who do super chats. And the way I'm going to do it today, for every $5, you get 1 entry, because people do $5 super chats anyway. So every person who donates $5, like Peter D, he'll get 2 entries for his $10 donation. And at the end of the night, we will choose 1 person that gets this Perfection Glock patch. It's Glock. It's the Kool-Aid Man, but he's in camo gear, and he's holding his Glock in his nightstick. And this was 100% drawn by me, designed and drawn by me. And there's none of these left around because, like I say, I only make patches for special events and stuff. But I found 2 of these in here when I was trying to clear out a spot to put my laser engraver and 3D printer, which I still haven't taken out of the box because I got distracted by finding patches. My son is revving up the 4-wheeler out there. He must be going somewhere. So at the end of the night, we will draw for that. And if the person who had mentioned this patch back in the day get back with me, and like I said, do one of those 2 things, I'll send you the patch. Let me go back over here, see if there's any questions or comments coming in. Would you rather carry a Kimber K6S or 357 Colt King Cobra, and why? I'd probably carry Colt King Cobra, a little bit larger gun, and I like both 6 rounds, so I'd probably carry the King Cobra. Justin Grimm says, it was me. Well, send me an email with your name and address so I can send this out to you. Justin Grimm. Let me write that down. Where do I have a pen anywhere? Wait, I guess I can type it over here. Justin Green Block Patch. Okay. I will be looking for your email with your name and address, and I will send this to you. But that was Dustin Green, who he donated to the Pets and Vets Fund. And he got the patch. Bye Gal says, for the patch, why does Spider-Man only drink Kool-Aid? Because with grape powder comes great responsibility. I would have said grape responsibility, but I get your point. Yeah, we'll just we're going to kind of brush past that bad pun joke and go on to Ray F here, who donated to the Pets and Vets Fund and says, what do you think of the EDC X9 from Wilson Combat? Would love to have one, and I would carry it if I did. The only reason I don't own one is because I can't honestly say to myself I would. No, quit reading what I'm saying. What is this fucking thing doing? Carol completed good. Oh yeah, I got to send her Cash App money. For her dog sitting. I pay for my sister's dog sitting so she could keep the dog. What would you do? I already read the question. I love the gun. I would have one if it was for the fact that if I would carry it. The only reason I haven't bought one is because I wouldn't carry it. Because I have too many other carry options that I would carry first. But they're fucking awesome. I love the barrels on them. That reverse crown barrel is just awesome, sexy even. So if anyone was going to buy it for a carry gun, it'd be a gun I would give A plus ratings. I just love the thing. So I hope you weren't looking to me to dissuade you from spending the money, because I say go get it now. Did Kraft ever get off their menstrual cycle after they ran you over with it for that patch? I never heard anything else. So never heard anything, nothing happened. So I am not producing any or selling any. So I'm not too worried about anything happening. Just getting rid of the last two here, and it was for donations to animal charities. So that really is a protecting thing when people come at you for profiting off their copyrighted material. If you can show you never profited, and that any money did come in, went to a charity, really weakens their case and makes them less likely to want to sue you. Jim Gregory donated to the Pets and Vets Fund, says, for the Pets and the Vets, once again requesting an appearance from the puppers, much easier on the eyes. Right now it's all snowy out there. I'm not even getting them to come outside. They ain't going out in the snow. What do you think they are? They're too refined for that. I got to get something to drink. I didn't bring a drink in here. Hold on. I'll be right back. I just got to go over. I just got to go in here. Get me a water. I got to refill this refrigerator. I don't have anything left in it, and I got water sitting out there. Hell, I could just set them outside right now, and they'd freeze solid. The high today was 25 degrees up here. And I was out there in short pants getting the snow off my car and cleaning the inside of it. What a bad idea to clean your inside of your car on a day that it's all snowy. But, got to get it done sometime. And I couldn't go down to the gun shop today, so I used the time for that instead. But if I remember, maybe I'll bring the dogs out tomorrow for a quick hello. Well, not tomorrow because that's the 5 o'clock show. Maybe Thursday. Let me get back over here to the questions. I received my FUD free patch today. Lou Brew, I also got my FUD free patch. Do you think it's possible for Beretta to make a 10 millimeter M9? That would be awesome. I don't think it would be easy to do because of the dimensions of the gun. They'd have to alter the grip a little bit, I think. They might even have to alter more than that, since you have to have room for the gun to feed properly. What's the best 1911 outside waistband holsters you found to date, Lobo? I like my Lobo. There was also another one called Soteria Leather that I have one from, and they're fucking awesome too. Soteria, I don't know if they still do business or not, but I have a really nice 1911 holster from them. Soteria. I remember it was like a goddess or something, the name, but Gerald Cagney, any relation to Cagney and Lacey? Hi, Grandpa, for Pets and Vets. I don't think I'm your grandpa. I hope not, unless my kids have not told me something. But I don't. Unless I sired a kid a long time ago that I don't know about. Let's see. You'd have to be like, let's say you're 18 to be here, which I'm just making that assumption. I know everyone here is not 18 sometimes, but that's shame on them for being here when they're children. Let's see. If I would have fathered a child when I was 18, that would have been, and then if they fathered a child when they were 18, well, yeah, you could very easily be my grandkid, but I don't think that's true. If you were in the market for a new heavy-duty pickup truck, which would you choose? And we're not talking like electric or anything. We're talking heavy-duty. I would probably go with The RAM, what do they call that thing? The power, what is that thing called? The Power Wagon is what I think they call it. I'm looking it up. Yeah, I'd probably, my own personal choice would probably be the Dodge Power Wagon. I think it's a great combination of price and power. It's got tows like 11,000 pounds or whatever, something like that. And I think it's oh God, what the horsepower on that thing? It's 410 for the, is that the 6.2 liter? I don't know. I can't remember. But it's over 400 horsepower, and the torque is amazing, and it's nice looking. So I think I would go with the Power Wagon. I like Ford 250s too, F250s. Don't get me wrong. I would never say no to a Ford F250, but I think I would go for the combination of looks, hauling, engine, etc. I think I'd go with the Ram, and I'd want that 6.2 liter. Other people are probably going to disagree with me, but because some people will probably want like the Tundra or something, and the new Tundras I think are fucking awesome. I'm very anxious to see the new Tundras. I'm sure I'll see some at the auto show this week. How did this jump up? When liberals say the word minority, do they really mean black people and Hispanics in addition to gun laws that restrict minority purchases? Are marijuana laws similarly racist? Marijuana laws really don't have their basis in racism. They have their basis is more in morality and political divisions. Marijuana really became demonized under what's his face that got impeached, Nixon. Nixon decided that, hey, all these hippies are against me, and all these, the woke people from that generation. And he said, well, we can't. And his people were like, he wanted to crack down, put them in jail. And his DOJ was like, well, you can't just crack down on them for disagreeing with you. So they actually sat there and figured, well, what they really like is they like marijuana. So let's really push marijuana prosecutions and stuff. That way we're prosecuting our enemies, but without saying why. And that's why marijuana laws became so ingrained. And then back under Bush again, the first Bush, that he really pushed them hard, and so did Nancy Reagan. And but it wasn't about discriminating against anybody because of their color. It was because of their political mindset more than anything else. Make sure I've got everything over here. I do. Cagnia was the last one. I got my FUD free stuff today too, including 2 other patches, ammo storage components, and Palmetto State Armory, and 2 stickers. Are you all out there, people who put stickers on your vehicles? I don't usually. I will sometimes occasionally put like one. I'll put window decals on things usually. And I put like graphics, but no bumper stickers. Not a big fan of bumper stickers, but I'll occasionally put like one on, but I prefer like a window graphic. Like I can put it up in the corner, bottom of my window. Where am I at? Over here. Always wondered what made you leave the firing line for them. I haven't been there in over a decade myself. I would be willing to bet, I don't remember that one specifically, but I'd be willing to bet I got banned. I didn't take well to the fascist dictatorships that run those forum boards, and I always would tell them to suck my fucking dick, and they would ban me. And plus, there was a time there when Mossad Ayub was pressuring most of them to ban me because I was challenging him on some of the things he said. What piece other than the safety is weak in the RIA 1911s? I've already replaced the safety. The one piece I've seen break a lot is the barrel bushing. Easy to replace, inexpensive. But it's been the barrel bushings and the safeties of where I've seen the weak spots on the RIAs, and both very easy to replace pieces. Now, a lot of people will say, for that much money, I should have to replace a piece. Well, that's not that much money. That's why you might have to replace a piece. What the fuck is going on? Caden completed a 3-mile drive. Top speed, 33 miles an hour. I'm assuming he went down to the Mercantile on the 4-wheeler. Because our hill is ice. You're not going up and down without chains right now. Because it snowed like 7 inches, and then it got packed, and they didn't plow it, and then the temperature dropped. The road was still warm, but the temperature dropped drastically from 34 when it was snowing to 22 last night, and now everything is just an inch layer of ice all the way down the road. You're going to have chains if you want to make it up. The Tesla did it, but we put cables on the bottom of the hill. Actually, I drove the truck down there, put cables on it, and then it drove back up the hill. I put stickers on my safes. I did too. I used to do that quite a bit. Where am I at? I jumped way down. Where am I? Oh, it jumped way down. Or maybe I missed a bunch of stuff earlier. What do you think of the new Springfield Garrison 1911? I think they're nice. In colonial New England, a hog constable was a man who prevented or appraised damages caused by stray pigs. Pigs can cause a lot of damage. When I was a kid, I remember there's a family down the road from us, the Hogg family. That was their actual name. Like their kid that I was friends with was Carl Hogg. I cannot put money in Caden's account right now. I don't have my phone. I don't have my phone. What is tonight? Tonight's not Wednesday. He shouldn't be. Where is he? Oh, he's down at the Mercantile. That's right. He went down to the Mercantile. I don't have any. He shouldn't have gone down there without knowing there was money on his card. I'll put money on his card when I get in the house, but I don't have a way to do it right now. Is 500 Magnum adequate for self-defense? Well, depends on what you're defending against. Can we see some shotgun love? Nobody likes them anymore, I feel. I still love shotguns. Hold on. Yes. Just wanted to comment on that extensive ball cap and t-shirt collection you have. Impressive. I don't really have an extensive collection. I have a bunch of hats and shirts because people send them to me, and I love free hats and shirts. No, that's one thing I don't turn down. Mika Hammonds, in your opinion, what is the best caliber Derringer? 4570. That's the best because it's one of the most powerful I've ever seen. Then you can get down into the more usable ones like 357 Magnum. But to be honest, I think a great caliber in Derringers is 38 Special or 9mm. They're very usable, but still very potent, especially up close, which is what you'd be doing with that. So I'm trying to see if my phone is being brought to me so that I can put money in Caden's account. Hold on. Okay, here. But yeah, 9mm and 38 Special are both very usable Derringers. Those are what I would go with if I was going to get one that was useful. But, you can choose whatever you want. But like I say, I think the best one is 4570. Now you're going to have to wait while I put money in my son's account. because he is getting on my nerves. No internet connection. What are you fucking talking about? No internet connection. Okay, here we go. Send money. I'll send you $20. Well, wait, I don't know how much he needs down there. Don't transfer. Let's do 50. Transfer now. All right, there. That's done. But yeah, that's what I think is the best caliber Derringer. Let's see here. Imagine putting Hog Constable in the search field of Career Builder today. I don't think that job is really that around that much. We could probably use it in some areas, but I just want to say thanks. I received the notice FUD free zone patch today. Yay. Today I met a woman who told me she's an Irish girl from Hamburg, Germany. I find that claim to be very suspicious. I'm sure there's lots of Irish girls in Germany. Would you ever do another pimp gun? What would you do differently? I don't know if I'd do one. I probably would. If I wanted to do a pimp gun now, it'd probably be a revolver. I'd do a pimped out revolver. And it'd be all, I would do the whole gun in a tin coating. I'd polish it to a high polished stainless and then have it tin coated so it was a high polished tin coating. And then pearl grips with some sort of inlay or something on them. That would be nice. Power Wagon was so 1970s. All the new ones are so nice. People in my area will soon get to vote on turning our neighborhood into a new municipality. I am against this idea because more cops would be hired. We are over-policed as it is. Yes. Well, over-policed until there's crimes being committed and then nowhere to be found. Just a reminder to everyone out there, today we are giving away one of the very last in existence. What the fuck is this thing? Perfection Glock patch. It's got the little Glock character or the little Kool-Aid guy there and his camos with his nightstick and his Glock pointing it at you. I don't know why they did the inside of the barrel green. It's supposed to be gray. It's green. I don't know if it was like that on all of them. But giving this away at the end of the show tonight, whoever donates $5 to for every $5 super chat you do, you get an entry to win it. And like if you do 10, you get 2. But we'll be giving this away tonight. This was drawn by me. I created this, just so you know. I can draw when I want to. I'm actually a fairly good illustrator. Pen and ink. I'm more of a pen and ink guy. I'm not like a lot of pencils and shadings and things like that. I'm more of a pen and ink designer than someone else colors. I mean, I can do coloring in. I mean, I've colored in a lot of my designs. I used to spend a fortune on high quality Prismacolor markers. I had like a tackle box full of Prismacolor markers, and those things were expensive. It was like $10 to $15 for some of the markers, just one marker. I had a lot of money in that box, but I used to make a lot of side money designing logos and things like that. So, and a lot of people wanted a full color mock-up. Where am I? Besides fanny packs, other packs, etc., what do you think would be good concealed carry option for someone who wears suspenders? Well, why would suspenders prevent you from carrying on your waistband? Just open carry. Only bad thing about Power Wagon is the worst MPG on the market, but they're great off-road for such a heavy truck. Yeah, they're just great all-around trucks. I'm not going to be driving. I don't like when people buy. I mean, I don't understand. I don't care. I don't understand when people buy something like that as their everyday driver. Like I know people who work at a bank and they have like a Power Wagon as their everyday driving car. I'm like, do you know how much you're costing yourself? I mean, I can't say much because I have a Mustang GT, which is very thirsty, as my everyday driver, but I put about 5,000 miles a year on a car. So I'm not driving a lot. So I'm willing to pay extra for the miles I do drive because I'm not driving many of them. it's like I really, really wanted and still do, and I have to keep talking myself out of it. A Camaro ZL1 with 650 horsepower, but that's even worse gas mileage. It makes even less sense for an everyday driver car. The difference on paper is only like a mile or two per gallon, but real life difference is quite different. Because when you stomp in that supercharger on that car, you're sucking gas like crazy. And I'm a lead foot. Not as in going super fast or dangerously fast at any time, but my 0 to 60 is always, I don't like to waste time in between moving at highway speeds and being still. So I accelerate quickly. And I have been known to drive around in triple digits before, but only in safe conditions like dry roads and long straight stretches. But mainly it's accelerating is my big thing. Like at stoplights, like I love to hear the engine roar when I take off. Boom, take off, leave people behind you. Since my local cops refuse to use their body cams and dash cams, the last thing I need is more of these badge heavy bullies over patrolling the areas. If anyone, as far as I'm concerned, cop turns off their badges, turns off their cams, fired. If you turn off your cam and you're involved in any altercation or any event where your behavior is in question, if your cam was off, you do not get the benefit of the doubt. It goes the other way and you are fired. You're terminated for being involved in a use of force or something and having your camera off. I'm a firm believer of that. Have you ever seen a spider wrench? It's a lug wrench with an extra socket bar that runs through the center of the T shape at a 90-degree angle. I mean, yeah, I've seen them. I don't have a need for one, but got a super chat coming in from for low speed, high drag, who I haven't seen in a while. And they said, did you see the new Ford Ranger Raptor? 395 horsepower in a mid-sized truck seems pretty sweet. Yeah, and it's like 450 torque. So, or 420 or 450 torque. I forget which one. So it's in that range, in the 400 something, between 410 and 450. Yeah, and it looks really nice too. It's a really good looking truck inside and out. So that would be something I would consider. The full-size Raptor is a little more vehicle than I want to be driving around every day. A little wider than I want a vehicle to be. I don't like trying to maneuver into tight parking spots and stuff with big old trucks all the time. And I'm getting too old to park out the end of the lane. So, but that Raptor is promising looking. It won't be around here till next year, but they had an event today at like 2 a.m. I actually was up this morning when it happened. It happened at 2 a.m. my time here. Or was it 2 a.m. on the East Coast? It was one or the other. But I remember seeing it last night around 3 a.m. about where they talked about the Raptor. Why do you still have a jack-o'-lantern on your icon? It is not Halloween. Take down your decorations. What is your favorite single action Army barrel length? 4 3/4 inches. It's perfect size for most things. What do you think of Bull Armory? I see all sorts of reviews online, but I don't know if I can bring myself to buy one. So far, I have been very impressed with them. I remember I first met them at SHOT Show years ago, and I was very impressed with what they had on display. Then recently, I've seen a couple others that I was very impressed with. So I'm so far thinking good things about them. And they contacted me, and I have a question out to them about, I wonder if they ever answered my question about who makes the grips on those things. Let's see. Pull up my message here and see if they've ever responded. They did say they were about to head out of town, so out of state, actually. They're heading to Europe for the gun show. So I doubt they've responded because last time I said something. Oh, they're their grips. They make them themselves. So there you go. I was wondering who made their grips. They looked like VZ, but they didn't look like any VZ I'd ever seen. So I asked them who made those grips, and they say they're in-house. So that answers that question. They did answer me. Let me see where I'm at. I put my stickers on my safe. A 357 Magnum round fired out of a 6-inch revolver can travel 82% of the speed of a 357 round fired out of a Henry rifle with a 20-inch barrel. That's impressive. Well, it depends on how much barrels can make things faster and make things slower if they're too long. Like if you have fast burning powder in like a 28-inch barrel and all the powder burns by the time the bullet's at the 24-inch mark, well, that's 44 inches of resistance against the rifling that's actually slowing the bullet down. So sometimes you got to take all things into account. When gas was cheap, it didn't matter what you drove on a daily basis. Yeah, it did. It still mattered to me because you still have to worry about pollution and everything else. And it's never free. So you're always, the difference between gas being $3 and $4 doesn't make that huge of a difference in the overall bill. I mean, if you're putting 10 gallons in your car, $32 or $40 really isn't that big of a difference. It's a big difference, but still it's not enough to make it like, wow, I was happy to pay 32. Well, no, if you could get away with paying 18, that would be better. I'm cheap. What's your current opinion on Alex Baldwin? Well, I don't really have a personal opinion on Alex Baldwin because I don't know him. I do believe he needs to be held accountable for what happened and pay an appropriate price. I'd like his shows. I mean, his movies and stuff. I liked Beetlejuice, and I thought he was hysterical on Saturday Night Live. He does a great Trump. But other than that, I don't really have a personal opinion about him. He seems like he's got a temper. I will say that. Today, some ignorant guy told me that I can't shoot someone who's chasing me with a machete because that person might be mentally ill and unmedicated. Well, that doesn't matter. If someone comes at me with a machete, am I supposed to say, oh, are they off their meds? Will I be any less dead if they hack me up with a machete if they were just doing it because they were off their meds? No, what matters is Sporting Systems just chimed in and wanted to rub some salt in my wounds, rub something in my face. The CTSV doesn't drive past too many gas stations because Dan has a CTSV, which is one of the most perfect cars ever made, in my opinion. I would love to have one of the CT5Vs that they have out now, or the CT4 even, but I cannot afford it because I am a poor person and those are rich person cars. I should start selling out. Before I die, I should sell out so that I can at least experience what it's like to get rich people things. I'd have to sell out a lot in little increments, but yeah, if I saved it all up, I think I could do pretty good. So when I'm like 70, if you all hear me going, Caltech just made a great new gun, I'm trying to get me a fancy car. Sadly, areas with a lot of sheep will support more cops on the police force. Yeah, they definitely do. I've been out of the loop. What happened to Gunbroker? What do you mean? What happened to Gunbroker? Is Gunbroker not around anymore? Or do you mean Gunbroker, the shop out in Clackamas? They all closed. He closed all of his shops and went away and disappeared. Like people that used to work there haven't heard from him. I spoke to what's her name that used to work there. She's working over at Northwest Armory now, and she's like, she hadn't even heard from Royd or his son. So he just closed all 3 shops. They were expanding. Maybe they got too big. I don't know. Or maybe he just wanted to retire. But they also started doing road work over right by where his main shop was, which really killed his business. So that probably had a factor in it too. Because I'm assuming that's what you mean. Because I think Gunbroker is still a thing online. Let me look it up and see. Oh, maybe it's, no, wait, I just misspelled it. That's what the problem is here. I misspelled Gunbroker, and the word I misspelled was gun. So let's see if I can do it a little better this time. Oh, Gunbroker's still there. So I'm sure you're meaning oh man, what they got on the front. Look at that. Ooh, that was pretty. It's not actually for sale though. It's just a teaser to get you in here. Where was I? Let me go over here and answer. There was a super chat came in since low speed high drag. John Mandrick asked, "What shotguns do I have?" Well, I have that one, which is what is that? The 887? The Remington? Is that what that thing is? It's the one that looks like a fucking Klingon because it's got shit. Yeah, it's the 887. I've got this one, which I actually like this thing. It's ugly as fuck, but I like it. It's great when you need a full size tactical type shotgun. Like if I wanted one, that would be the one I'd grab. I have a 410 lever action. I don't know if that counts. I also have a Vepper semi-auto shotgun up here, magazine fed. I also have a Benelli M4 in the house, and I have that new. What did I get? That Mossberg I bought, that tactical. I forget what was it. I got that. It's in my bedroom next to my bed. Forgetting what the name of that thing is. I'm blanking on numbers and names today. Not a good day for memory for me. But and then I have, what else is it I have? I have another, I have that short, the Gatekeeper, which is like the new Mossberg ones. And I have, what's the other one I have? I got one more. Oh, it's a Remington Marine, I do believe, that I have. The one that's locked up. But I don't have any that I know of, any shotguns, to be honest, if this is on the official record. But those are the ones that I will say I have. But I guess Diamond Book or whatever was talking about the actual shop. We used to have a shop here called Gunbroker, and it used to cause a lot of confusion because I would tell people, they'd say, "Where'd you get that gun?" And I'd say, "I got it from Gunbroker," and they think I bought it online. And I'm like, no, I bought it from the Gunbroker in Clackamas, Oregon. When I lived in Oregon, that was my go-to gun shop. And it was a nice gun shop, very old-timey, old-school gun shop. Loved it. Had good selection, had multiple stores, so it had multiple, a lot to draw from. I will say they don't hold a candle to Sporting Systems, and I'm not just saying that because he's here or listening in in the background. Where was I? Sadly, areas with a lot of that's about more cops. I know a lot of people that are very pro cops. Sporting Systems, they're pro cop. They do a lot of business with police officers, and they have a lot of friends that are cops. I've had friends that are cops. It's the overall institution of mass policing and sovereignty and of the police forces to where they are an independent entity that answers to the government and the government only. That's why I'm not anti-policeman or anti-police. I'm just anti-state of the things now, if you know what I mean. Oh, they have a Automag LE 357 amp on Gunbroker. Oof. There's no good buy it now price, is there? No, there's no buy it now price. The bids are up. The bids are $3,500. I don't know if that's the first been any bids or that's just where they're starting it at. No, there's 34 bids. So, boy, I'd like to have that. But like I said, rich person gun. Of course, it's going to sell for like $5,000 or something. Where was I? But yes, I got John Mandrick's question, so let's head back over here. I'm kind of working my way from the bottom up because I lost my place. What thoughts on the Ukraine situation? Well, I believe that Vladimir Putin is a despot, always has been. There's nothing nice about him. No matter what Trump or Tucker Carlson or anyone say, he is a blight on free society. He is a mafia boss dictator, and he runs Russia as a mafia state. And allowing him to get away with anything is an affront to every other free country, as far as I'm concerned. So I wouldn't let him get away with anything if it was me. But I mean, it's not it's not that simple, but it's not that hard either. I know a lot of people say, well, what about the Russian speaking people on the borders? And I'm like, well, what about Mexican speaking people on our borders? Would anyone be okay? Well, yeah, I get some people probably would be okay with if we said, yeah, Mexico can have the lower portions of Mexico lower portions of California, Texas, Arizona, whatever. Some people might be okay with that. I would not be. Just because, wow, you can look right there and you can see that some of those border towns have 65 to 70% Mexican speaking people. So still on American soil. If they want to live in Mexico, go back across the border to Mexico. If those people in Ukraine want to live in Russia, go back across the border to Russia. That's my main thought on it. Otherwise, I don't lose a lot of sleep over it. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, remind me, there's something I should talk about a little bit because people have asked me about it and I haven't talked about it at all. And I need to. Don't need to, but I want to because people have asked me. But I got a super chat here coming in first from Blake Boozman or Bussyman, who donated $60. He's got 12 entries into the patch drawing tonight because remember, we're doing the drawing for the extra Kool-Aid Man patch tonight. Glock Perfection. I like how the perfection is raised when you rub your finger across it. It's raised on there. But going back to his question, best bang for the buck, traditional looking single action army. Need to buy a first revolver. Oh, best bang for your buck. Oh, yeah, I'll show you here. It's almost as expensive as a Colt. But if you want to see the finest, and I own a Colt single action army. If you want to see the finest single action army I own, it's this one right here. This thing is phenomenal. This is standard manufacturing, and like I say, they ain't cheap. They're like $1,800. Well, you can get them less than that, but that's I think their MSRP. So they are up there in price, but you can actually find them as opposed to Colts. And I actually think modern production Colt, this is better. The bluing is beautiful, and the gun is superbly made. The hammer is even blued, which is something you don't get with Colt. Just probably the nicest single action army I have ever had in my hand. 45 Colt. And like I say, I own an original Colt from like 1939. I didn't buy it. I inherited it. But I mean, like if you compare this gun to like one of the this one here I have, I mean, when you look at the differences in the bluing, it's just, yeah, this is not anywhere close to the same. This is like one of the Uberti. Yeah, and it's just not nowhere near as good in any way. But it's still a good gun. If you're talking about like a good performing single action army for cheap, I can't imagine you're wanting it too cheap if you donated $60. But anything by Uberti or by Pieta, you're going to have Pieta, especially. They make some really nice ones. In fact, I would put Pieta a little bit above Uberti. But if you want like the best one you can get, standard manufacturing, man, those things are gorgeous and made like a brick. It feels like it was like someone somehow carved it out of a solid piece of steel. Where am I at? But yeah, it's a beautiful gun. I can't really, I don't know if I told people I bought that gun. I bought that gun a while back. That was my Christmas present. I don't know if I told people that. You need to invest in a better camera. I've got one of the best cameras you can possibly buy. What I need is better internet, and that ain't up to me. They don't put internet out here. It's not, the powers that be, the big corporate interests that control the internet in this country. They don't make money from putting it in places like this. So I don't have good internet. I either had to choose between living in the city or having good internet. or living in the city to have good internet, or living out here in the country where I've got room to roam and there ain't people sitting on my front porch all the time, practically. And I chose slow internet living in the country. JNS4444. I doubt that's their real name. Will single stack 9mm boom in mag limited states? Well, there will be a lot more of an argument for them, because why do you want your gun to be thicker and harder to conceal if you can only put 10 rounds in it? 1911s might boom in those states. They should. But yeah, like I said, I did a thing about what that new carry gun, the P210 carry from Sig. If you live in a mag restricted state, that's like a fucking godsend. That would be a perfect carry gun. So, things like that it does make a difference. Like I said, that's why I did that video of, top carry guns if you live in a mag restricted state. Revolver packing trucker says pets and vets. He didn't ask a question, but he said pets and vets. But going back to the last question from JNS, I think you are going to see an increase in sales in some states of those guns. Like right now, though, a problem with a lot of the states that are mag restrictive is like California has a roster, so the new guns that come out that are single stack don't get to be put on the roster. Have you had a Colt Delta Elite in 10mm? I've heard the underwood ammo won't feed properly in those guns. I don't have a Delta Elite. Never had one. I've had one in the past, but I've never used underwood ammo in them, so I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it can be. I mean, I have my little Bond arms over there, and it'll shoot every ammo perfectly. That is, as long as it's crimped and approved for the gun, except for Fort Scott. It won't even chamber Fort Scott for some reason. And I've not figured out why. I've never really cared to. I'm assuming it has something to do with the shoulder of the bullet, but because they are differently shaped than a lot of hollow points, they don't taper as much as quickly. So, yeah. That's possible. I got my patches today. Have you seen them in person yet? I haven't seen them in person. I saw where you got them. I was trying to remember your name earlier when I was saying that, Corey. I did say it was Corey. Didn't I say Corey and say I wanted to say? No, I mean, I said Cody. Clover Tack donated to the Pets and Vets Fund, says, I got to drive a Kia Stinger yesterday, and oh my God, that thing was pretty sweet. Yeah, Stingers are awesome. I can't think of anything wrong with a Stinger, really at all. In fact, in some ways, I'd like them better than the Genesis version. The Genesis version, the only thing I like better about it is I like its interior better. It's got kind of more of a poofy interior, whereas the Stinger is more simple. I forgot what I was talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. I love the Stingers are very nice. I would consider a Stinger. A Stinger was one of the cars I looked at. Very nice. Like 385 horsepower of a V6. So, and I got nothing against V6 engines. I prefer a V8, but I got nothing against V6s, especially not good turbo V6s. Ugh. I wish we'd start seeing some supercharged V6s. That would be nice. Sporting Systems is weighing in on that question and saying 10mm 1911s will go crazy. Wait, they already are. No on ESSB 5078. Call your DIM house members today or any DIM house member. Yes, remember 5078 is still in the house right now. And they had a vote in the committee the other day. I don't remember what it was. It was like an emergency forced vote or something. But I was looking up the movement of it yesterday, and I didn't see much yesterday. But yes, what he was saying about 10mm 1911s. Yes, 10mm 1911s have gone crazy. You could hardly find one 10 years ago. Now look at how many there are. And Finding them in stock, though, is still not easy, even though they're all over. Everybody's making them. I'm trying to look at. Oh, here's bill tracker. That's still in committee in the House. It's been referred to the Rules Committee for review. It was in the House Committee on Civil Rights and Judiciary. Now it's into the Rules Committee, referred to the Rules Committee on February 22nd, which was today. That's why I didn't see anything yesterday. Let's see, when it was referred to, I'm trying to look in the placed on second reading by Rules Committee in the House, in the Senate. That was January 14th. It took them till February 9th to pass it. If they do it by the same time frame, or even just close to the same time frame, it will not get out of the Rules Committee this session. They've only got another week or two to get things out of the Rules Committee and voted on. So let's hope they are as slow and inefficient in the House as they are in the Senate, because that would be nice. Because right now there's really not much we can do other than call Democrats and make them feel like their reelection is threatened. And luckily, a lot of the Democrats right now do feel like their reelection could be threatened by this bill. So we need to hammer that home on them. Where am I? Passed to rules only. Yeah, I saw that it passed one of the committees. I didn't know what the committee was called. It's called something else in the Senate, but I guess it's something in Judiciary in the House. And when we were up there talking to Mr. Politician, I forget his name. That's what he was saying, that he didn't even remember what it was called in the House. He knew what it was called in the Senate, but he said it's got a different name in the House, that committee. Is 5078 in D.C. or Washington State? Washington State. We're like Bloomberg's testing ground. Anything he can get past here, he feels like he can take other places. I think that the rock pattern of the thing from the Fantastic Four would be a cool design for a gun skin. I've always thought it'd be cool for to do a thing like VZ grip, or not VZ, G10 grip of the thing, in orange with the pattern, and maybe put black under so you see the black in between the orange rock, and do like the thing logo or something on there. That would be an awesome grip. I would buy it, definitely. Also, I've always thought, maybe kind of cool to do if you did one like that, like do a 1911 and do the slide with that texture all on the flat of the slide, that rocky carving, like actually carved into it, would be kind of cool too. Where am I? Kia has a new 1911. The Telluride is nice. I'll say that. JNS 4444 is mag limited state seeing you go smaller frame or bigger rounds. Either way, 10 it is. 10 is it. PSA micro dagger 43 knockoff might be well timed. Maybe, yeah. We'll see how it does. I don't know how well it's doing, or that it's even showing up places yet. But I say go bigger caliber. I mean, the point I was making is if they're going to limit the number of rounds you can have, carry a 44, or at least a 10 millimeter. If you're going to carry semi-auto, go to 10 millimeter. Don't go to a tiny little gun just because they're still harder to control. Go with a better control gun. I mean, unless, of course, you absolutely have to conceal well. But to me, I'm not going to go, like if I'm carrying a full-size gun, I'm not going to go to a smaller gun because they limit my mags capacity. I'm going to go to a bigger caliber if I can. Oh, you missed my WAP question. It doesn't show up over here, and I wasn't looking over here. Let me go over here and find it. Oh, when was it? I'm panning up. Here it is. Dave Moran. Member for 2 months. He's got the turnip. What do you think about a 410 shotgun shell for a Derringer? I'm fine with some of the ones that the Bond Arms has those, so I got no problem with it. I think it's cool. I would like to have one. I don't know if I want to shoot it, but I know they're cool. but that was his WAP chat that he used there. Where am I? We are out of time. I should probably go ahead and do the drawing for the patch. Hold on. Mike Thompson has donated and got an entry into the friend draw, multiple entries into the friend drawing and tonight's patch drawing. Commander 10 millimeter. What would you choose under 2K? Commander 10 millimeter. So I'm guess we're not talking any 2011s because they don't make them in 10. We're talking I would probably go and the Dan Wesson Specialist would probably be my choice, unless you like something more typical. And then I'd go like the Razorback, which I do believe they do offer in a Commander. But the Specialist I know comes in 10 millimeter and a Commander, and it's a beautiful, awesome gun. I own one, and I would definitely what is the thing you were talking about? Oh, yeah, I did say something I was going to talk about. The shooting, the one over in the park in Portland that involved, I believe, 5 people ended up getting shot. 1 person ended up getting killed. Now, I originally, when people said something to me about it, I assumed it was probably Antifa shooting at other Antifa because they get together in these groups and then someone pisses somebody off and bad things happen. I was wrong. So have been all the right-wing reporters that have been reporting on it are wrong. I actually got to speak to someone at the coffee shop day before yesterday when we tried to go down to my son's hair appointment and chose not to after stopping at the Mercantile. I got to speak to someone over in the little deli section there that was actually there and who was not there as a member of the protesters or anyone else. They were a volunteer for the city helping with traffic control. And the person who was the aggressor and who is now, I guess, being charged or is a person of interest, at least by the local police. I saw that. I didn't give too much detail before because I didn't know anything other than saying I assume that it's Antifa. Turns out it was a person over there. People first said it was a homeowner there, that somebody was in his yard or something. The person, turns out, was not even in his yard when this happened, and he is not a homeowner. He is a person who is living with someone else who has an apartment there in that area. He's a 43-year-old man with very strong feelings, let's say, about right-wing causes and right-wing personalities. And he, from all reports I'm hearing right now, was the aggressor, fired first, and then got fired back upon by someone in the crowd. The person who was in the crowd, and this has been confirmed by local reporting and the police, actually approached police, the one that shot him, and said, "I'm the one that shot him. He shot at us. I shot back." They arrested that guy who turned in the rifle and said, I shot back. Then after reviewing videos from the scenes, police determined that he was acting in self-defense and released him. And now the person that they're going to be charging is the guy who's still in the hospital who got shot in the abdomen and bowel area by a rifle, who is in critical condition. But by all accounts and all credible reports, both from police and witnesses and video evidence, the aggressor was a 43-year-old conservative white male who decided he did not like the protest and decided to start a conflict and then start firing. First, it was verbal attacks, and then he drew a gun and shot into the crowd, and then got shot back, which is a perfect lesson in just because you think you have a gun, that doesn't make you invincible. It's like one of the things I said with remember the McCluskeys? I said going out there and pointing your rifle or pointing your gun at people and holding your rifle was a bad idea, because if there had been anyone armed in that crowd of people that were out there, they could have easily shot you before you even knew what was happening. And then all you could do would be fire back into a crowd, wounding innocent people who weren't involved. It would be a no-win situation. This guy put himself in a no-win situation, and it seems he lost pretty bad. And not only did he lose physically, but looks like he's going to lose legally too. So don't start fights when you're armed, and don't think your gun makes you invincible, and don't think your gun gives you a right to attack people, because that's not the way it is. So the way things are right now, based on actual evidence, like I said, 43-year-old conservative white male started a confrontation with protesters on property that was not his, and then drew his gun and fired first. He was then shot back at by someone in the crowd who struck him in the abdomen. He's in the hospital in critical condition. The person who shot him turned themselves into police and the weapon. Police have since reviewed video evidence, released that person because they found no reason to charge him, and now they will be charging the guy who is in the hospital, the guy who actually started the event. So all those people who jumped to say it was a homeowner defending his property, none of that's true. All that stuff that pool guy said, none of that's true. That NYO guy, or whatever his name is, none of that's true either. So they decided they wanted to try to get ahead of the story and put out a false narrative, and now it just makes us look bad as far as I'm concerned, because they did not wait for any of the facts. This is a perfect example of why you wait for the facts before you make a statement, and it's also a perfect example of how not to be a responsible gun owner. Where are we at? What's going on this stuff? Where were we? I've lost my place. And I think we were out of time and out of questions. I think I was about to do the drawing. So let's make sure I didn't miss anything while I was babbling about that. But like I said, I didn't want to say anything till I had information. And now I've actually spoken to someone who was there, read what I could find from the police department, what they released through KATU News and other sources. Also got to hear some other stories from people that were there by looking on my neighbor, of all places, my neighborhood bulletin board. So yeah, it didn't act the way, it didn't turn out the way a lot of people thought it was, or didn't unfold the way a lot of people thought it did, and the way that a lot of people portrayed it as unfolding. Well, yeah, sometimes people like that do make us look bad, but we have to remember, you have to look at how many protests are there. Thousands. How many people around them are there who are of a different mindset and probably have a gun? Also probably thousands. And how many of them actually behave like an asshole and get themselves shot? So far, one that I'm really got on my mind that I know of locally. So that's one out of thousands. That's not like that's, look how they all are. No. Could you imagine if you said, one guy who did something horrible, it was like, aha, look, he's Hispanic. That shows you Hispanic people do it. You'd be roasted alive. So we can't allow that to be said about gun owners either, or that treatment to be pushed onto gun owners. All right, where are we? I think we were getting ready to do the drawing. Let me go over there and do the drawing. So no more super chats right now, because we're out of time, and I got to do the drawing, and I got to go count these super chats. And there were some big ones, so I'm going to have to count by numbers. So we did a good job today of funding the Pets and Vets Fund, probably made up for the deficits we had a few days last week. And that's always a good thing when you make up deficits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 28. I had to add 16 and 12. 28, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 40. I'm going to say 38, though, because I am removing sporting systems from eligibility, because that would be odd if we. So we're going to say 38, and we won't count theirs on the way up. So that's what you get for rubbing it in my face, the Cadillac. But let's go 38. So let me find a random number generator here. Random number generator. Oops, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. There we go. All right, let's share this. Share screen, window, share. Let's change this to 38. Then generate a number. 15. Let's close that. Let me bring this down here. Close it up to where you can't see anything more than who donated. And then we'll count up 15 entries, starting with Avo 357. I know this is time consuming, but I like to do it as transparently as possible. When you can do this, because this doesn't have any personal info on it. All right, we're going to count up 15 entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 is low speed, high drag. Low speed, high drag is the winner. So low speed, high drag, let me know your shipping information. I'll get you sent the Glock Perfection patch. Unless, of course, you say, I just don't want the fucking patch, and then I won't. But if you do, let me have the information, and I will send it to you. But that is our chat for today. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Make sure I didn't miss any important chats over here. So that dude basically tried to do what people accused Rittenhouse of doing. I don't know. I don't think he was trying to be security or protecting his neighborhood or anything. I think he was just being a dick. He just sounds like someone who's angry. 43 years old, living with a roommate in an apartment. Probably not the happiest with his life in the world. Maybe divorced. I don't know. I'm adding stuff there for flavor. But I don't think he was trying to be a responsible citizen. I'm willing to bet from every account I've heard he's just being a dick. And he happened to be a dick that owned a gun. And sometimes the dicks own guns. Sometimes people who own guns are dicks. Just people who own guns are Catholics. People who own guns are humanitarians. People who own guns are millionaires. People who own guns are poor people. People who own guns are just people. So every group of people comes into it, and sometimes it's just dicks that are coming into it. But let's what was this? What are the chances some war will develop in Europe, Ukraine? I don't know. Like I say, I am way out of the loop on behind the scenes intelligence in Europe. And that was never really my expertise area anyway. So I was usually more involved in happenings between the West Coast and Asian countries, etc., and sometimes Middle East. But as far as what's going on in Europe, all I know is Putin is a scourge. I don't want to. Anybody who says good things about Putin, I have immediately lost all respect for them. Even Sean Hannity last night had to stop Tulsi Gabbard and be like, "Oh, wait! What you're saying doesn't jive with reality," because he's been saying for a long time that he doesn't recognize their sovereignty and he wants to take them back, even though they are a free people with their own political system. So what you're saying doesn't jive. And when Sean Hannity has to correct you on your right-wing rhetoric, you're probably a little over the line. Let's see here. Got my patches. What was the thing you were going to talk about? Are the new Colts better than the Smith & Wessons? No, I'd say they're more on par, but they're not. Dave Moran, I got your WAP question. That rock pattern from the thing. Okay, I think we are all caught up. Putin is responding to NATO's nonstop growth. NATO hasn't grown that much, and who cares if it does? He doesn't have a right to annex a country simply because other countries are joining a different group that he doesn't agree with. That doesn't mean that national boundaries and international law suddenly disappear because he doesn't like the way the game is going. He doesn't get to take his pieces and other people's pieces and go home. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So don't come in here spouting pro Putin stuff. I will fucking kick you off my channel in a second flat. I will not hear pro Putin shit in here. Does anyone know how much Putin makes a year in dollars equivalents? Putin is one of the richest men in the world, if not the richest man in the world. Putin has stole hundreds of billions of dollars over his reign from the Russian people. It is last I saw information that Putin was holding multiple accounts of that each account hold tens of billions of dollars in offshore accounts and special accounts, and he has a palace built. Yeah, I forget where they said it was, but he was having a palace, a $12 billion palace built somewhere for when he eventually has to flee Russia. I saw some pretty credible evidence about that at one point years ago. The Chinese steamrolled the people of Tibet. They cannot do the same thing to the Taiwanese, or they already would have. They're trying. I mean, just look at what they've done in Hong Kong since it became back under China's control. People are fleeing Hong Kong like crazy. James Yeager owns guns. Yeah, I don't think James Yeager's will be causing any trouble anytime soon, though. He's getting too old. But like I said, thanks everybody for coming today. I do appreciate it. The Warsaw Pact collapse, and it is up to nations if they want to join NATO or not. That is why Ukraine gave up its nuclear arsenal. Yeah, it's like I say, he got no say on who joins NATO. That's like saying, I don't understand why an American would be upset because another country joins NATO. Are you pro-democracy or are you pro-dictatorship? If you're pro-dictatorship, then you should probably find a different country to live in, because we don't need pro-dictatorship people here. But I think we are done. Putin became so rich on a civil servant salary. Yes, exactly. Didn't steal a dime. I want to see the French Foreign Legion take on the Russian military. Oh, that might be interesting. Why does Honda call you CNN Light? Seems disingenuous. Who cares what Honda calls anybody? I don't think, when I think of credible sources, Honda is not one of them. He's a little bit of a conspiracy-minded wacko. NATO wasn't supposed to expand past Germany. Doesn't matter what they fucking are supposed to do or what they do. If they do, they do. In fact, I would love to see it to where eventually every country was a member of NATO or something similar, to where we all decided to work together and not apart, and defend each other and not fight amongst each other. And if we have problems, solve them diplomatically. I would love to see that. That would actually maybe lead some great progresses in the world. If we were able to spend half of what we're spending now on defending ourselves against each other, on developing cures for diseases and solving the ills of society, well, hell, we would be doing pretty well. So I'm not going to complain because more countries want to be involved in a more progressive, democratic type of organization, and want to give up the dictatorships and monarchies of the past. I'm happy with that. I need to email Kinky Victor. Speaking of pro dick. Okay, I think we're done. All right, thanks everybody for coming. Like I said, I do appreciate it. I will see you all again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time, where I will be the opening act for Never Enough Ammo. And then Never Enough Ammo will take it from 6 p.m. on. Until then, I want to thank everybody for coming. I do appreciate it. I want to thank everybody who participated in the patch giveaway. It really does help the Pets and Vets program. And just everybody just did super chats in general. And just remind you to always carry and stay safe until I see you again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time.